In 15 weeks, our Gorilla Platoon member went from looking like this to now looking like this. Why this result is what I want to speak about is he came to me after a point of losing a lot of weight himself, I think around 20 kilograms. However, he got to 20% body fat and was now at a sticking point, unable to make any further change, unable to really get the body to respond and drop body fat. And of course, that is painful because you've come fairly far, like you've dropped a high amount of body fat, changed the dynamic of how your physique is, and then it's got to the point where you're not really seeing that change, but you're not happy with how you look right now. Nor should you really settle and be happy at 20% body fat. Like, you should aim for the highest of standards for your life. You get one life. Do not sell yourself short. People are not better than you. No one is better than you. I'm not, and you're not better than me either. But you must understand, for what the standard you accept, that is what the way people will treat you. People will only treat you in a way that you accept for yourself. So I don't want people to walk around and accept 20% body fat, because there is fixes, there is ways that we get around it, and I'm going to break this video down. I've structured it into 6 points. That's the way we're going to deliver the info to you in this video. So the very first thing we did, and the main mission, was get his metabolism back on our side. Get it back to a point where it's going to respond to dieting. Because ultimately, when you've been in a fat loss phase for a long period of time, you've dropped loads of kilograms, great work, but the body is going to get to a point where it's just stalls. You can't keep the progress going, and it thinks it goes into a state of survival and doesn't really progress any further than that. That is how you get in a plateau. So what did we do to fix this? When someone hits this point, and this is what you're going to try if you're in this situation right now, bring your calories to just below maintenance. Now, if you've been dieting for a long period of time, you'll be able to understand what that looks and feels like. But if not, then go on and find a calorie calculator online and find out what your maintenance calories would be. For him, we brought him up to a point of being 2,500 calories was his just below maintenance point. We sat him at that point for 6 weeks. We did use cardio of 20 minutes per day and steps at 10,000 per day as well. Now, what does this do? This gets your body eating a good amount of food, not loads, if anything, just slightly below maintenance, but it's a good amount of food. It's a high amount of carbohydrates, and your fats should be at 20% of that target. Protein just shouldn't really change anyway from the peak of your dieting phase to now. Should be, roughly 1 gram per pound of body weight, or your height in centimeters in grams is what you can go off. So what this now gets you doing is eating a decent amount of food, especially when you've been in a state of low calorie, 1,800, 15, 1,600, whatever you've took yourself down to. You then bring your food back up to a solid amount. For him, 2,500. But we're also getting you to burn fuel, and that way through output, cardio, but also in the gym. And we dialed in his gym floor performance. Now, personally, Gorilla Platoon members will send me their training clips every week so I can see how they're training. For the main reason, I want you to treat your training like an efficient light bulb. The energy you put in wants to be yielded in mechanical tension on the working muscle. It doesn't want to be energy light bulb going out in heat, or i.e. not being focused on the working muscle. So they'll send me form clips, so I assess all of them, and what we look for first of all is tempo. Do you lift slow and controlled? Are you coming down 3, 2, 1, pause, and then driving back up to the top? Or is the load just moving from A to B? Are you coming down too quick? We'll check, is the range of motion deep enough? Are you maximizing the muscle's capability and the joint? We'll also check the arm path. If you're looking to train your chest, well, the chest starts by the sternum, runs across the rib cage, inserts onto your upper arm. We're looking, are you driving your bicep to your pec to shorten your pec? Or are you pressing loads from A to B, up and down? And then lastly, of course, once that's done in week 1, we're looking at intensity. Are you training to failure? How do we know if it's failure? Your last repetition should take you around 3 to 4 seconds to contract, or you won't finish the rep at all. That's how you know you're training to failure. And we look to fix that over a 6-week period. Just below maintenance, hard aggressive training for 6 weeks, with a little bit of output, 20 minutes cardio per day, 10,000 steps. Now at that point, you are primed. You are primed and ready to go. It may take a little bit longer. This is just what we did for him in his situation for you to try at home. Obviously, I'm not saying everyone's body is exactly the same. I'm saying this is what we did. This is the result we got. Now I'm telling you about it. From there, we use cardio to drive fat loss. 20 minutes daily, 30 minutes daily. Cool, we're dropping. Sweet, we're dropping. No, we're not dropping anymore. 40 minutes daily. Sweet, we're dropping. Anymore? Okay, we're not dropping. 50 minutes daily. So at this point, weeks have gone by. He's now started to drop very, very nicely. Overall, I believe we needed to pull off around about 12 kilograms. And in that initial phase when we started to pull, it was every week. Kilo, 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 kilo. So the adjustments were minor. You didn't need to be so aggressive. But in your case, you're going to look to push your output up first. Keep your food where it is. Why? Because you just work so hard to get to the point of needing to eat and burn a good amount of fuel. Don't just throw that away so quickly and go straight back into like peasantry calories. You don't deserve that. Your body doesn't deserve that. And plus, if we can keep that food for as high as long as possible, what's going to restore for as long as possible? Your gym floor performance. And your gym floor performance is the main reason you will build, or at the very least retain, the muscle tissue that is on your bones during the fat loss phase. I can't stress this enough. And inside the nutrition, keeping your carbs as high as possible, because your carbs drive performance in the gym. Your carbs keep muscle fullness. Go back to my last video about like you need to get flat to get lean. You're going to get to the point where you feel flat and skinny anyway. So let's try and prolong that for as long as humanly possible by keeping carbs as high as possible. Now, we got to a point where we then needed to pull from food, and in which case we pulled from fats to begin with to keep the carbs a little bit higher. But of course, they got to a point where we needed to pull down carbohydrates. The way I look at things, as I've said, I'll assess your data for 7 days. Are you dropping? No. Okay. What did we change last time? Well, we haven't moved cardio up for a while. Okay, let's move the cardio up. There comes a point, though, where too much cardio impacts your routine. So then at that point, we're just going to hold the cardio where it is, and then we're going to manipulate and drop a little bit of food. I go for fats first because it yields a high amount of calorie reduced for small volume of food. So 30 grams of peanut butter looks like pretty minuscule in your hands, but it's 200 calories. 180 grams of dark chocolate looks, again, it's 3 pieces, but again, that's 180 calories. That's big. That you take both of them out of the diet, that's nearly 400 calories. That's 2 turns of the wheels, and at least like more drop off the back of those changes. So that's why I like to manipulate from that. Now, they got to a point after a certain amount of weeks of dieting where we needed to run a refeed. Now, your body can go for a dieting phase and start to really slow down during this dieting phase again. And not like it was chronically in the beginning. The first thing we did was to fix more chronic. Like this has been happening week after week after week. The next thing I'm telling you is more a quick fix that you can keep doing week after week. We run a refeed, a high-carb day. It was there to instill training performance, to see how he looked full after a good period of dieting, and also to honestly bump up morale. You're in a dieting phase for a good period of time, off the back of your pre-diet anyway. Bumping up with a high amount of food, it really does, it replenishes you both in the muscle and also in the mind, I believe. And that's why we like to run high days. And then we essentially just, when you get to that point, by the way, you run the high day, and going into the last video, you run the high day because you get flat. And when you get flat and you run the high day, you get full. But then after that, it's only going to last about 14 days, and you can be back to flat again. So it gets to the point where it's like, you've been dragged flat, fill you up, restores, drag you flat again, fill you up, restores, and you keep doing that until you've churned through all of the kilograms needed to drop off to then get the end result. What we did throughout the full process, and to be fair, I'll give you the full tactics that we used to get him in great shape, but honestly, that would all fall on deaf ears if you didn't fix this. The main thing we got him to do was believe that he deserved an aesthetic physique. Believe that he can be a guy that has a six-pack, that is a guy that deserves to walk around this earth feeling confident. Like he would go to dinners and boat parties because he lives in Thailand, and he'd be getting compliments on his physique, and his confidence was just staircasing, boom, 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 till he walked around and felt like he was the man. Now that's what this is really about. It's like the six-pack's nice, mate. Yeah, it's cool. It is nice, and don't get me wrong. I want every man to have a six-pack, but it's more what the six-pack gave you. It's more the character of the person you became along the way, and it's more the soft skills and the emotional, mental skills you get from the daily disciplines along the way. It's the compliments from people. When you've been a guy that's been fat and out of shape for that long, and you're now getting people compliment you on your physique, that is going to do wonders for your mental health. If your mental health's in a better position, are you going to be a better father to your kids? For sure. Are you going to be a better boss or worker within your workplace? For sure. Are you going to be a better partner to your partner? For sure. If your mental health is up, everyone else in your life wins. So where people try and suffer for their people around them, honestly, they don't win because you're not the best you. They get a worse version of you, and you can try and mask it and hide it. Honestly, and hats off to you if you do that effectively. But they'll prefer a you that is winning and has good mental health. And if you can get in shape, and you've never been before, I tell you now, your mental health's gonna go through the roof. I never get bored of looking in the mirror. I really don't. Because I've spent like all my life training in the gym to build from being like, go look at the other thumbnails, right? You've seen how I used to look, all right, and now I look better, all right. So like it's priceless, that sort of stuff. That's what we instill in you to make sure you believe you deserve the six pack, you can get the six pack, and you are the guy, the 2.0 version of you that deserves the six pack. So that's everything we did in order to execute that body recomposition. It was a 15-week process. Where, as said, around like the first 5 or 6 were sat restoring metabolism, and after that, boom, 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 dropped off the body weight and pulled out to get the six pack. So if you found this video of value, great, subscribe to the channel. If you want me to do this for you, come and join us at the Gorilla Platoon, the first link in the description. Hit that, watch the video and see if we're a good fit for you. And if there is, I'll see you on the inside. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you tomorrow.